Assalamu alaikum. A lot of people have asked me about my investment process. And while I cover on this channel what I invest in, I don't go into too much detail about exactly when I invest and how much I invest when I do invest. I do mention on this channel that I dollar cost average my way into my positions, and basically dollar cost averaging means that you're spreading your investment over a period of time so that you're not investing at exactly the wrong time. But in this video, I'm going to go into a bit more detail than that. My investment process starts off with choosing what I'm going to invest in, and then the percentages that I'm going to allocate to each of these investments that I've chosen. So let's say I've decided to invest my portfolio as follows: 50% of my portfolio in stock A, 30% in stock B, 10% in stock C, and 10% in stock D. Now let's say I'm paid every Friday, and out of each paycheck, I budgeted $100 to be invested. So I invest my $100 in this portfolio that I've determined, and this means that for stock A, which I have a target weight of 50% of my portfolio, stock A is going to get $50 of the $100 that I'm investing. Stock B is going to get $30, stock C $10, and stock D $10. So at this beginning point, the actual weights of these stocks matches the target weights that I've set for them. And some brokerages like M1 Finance do this automatically for you. So whenever you invest your money, it will invest it so that your investment weights approach the target weights that you set for them. M1 Finance is available only in the United States. If you'd like to try them out, use the link in the description to support the channel. So now a week passes and the investments I've made have changed in value, and my balances have changed in value, and the actual weights have deviated from their targets. So let's say stock A now has a balance of $55, so it has increased by $5. Stock B has decreased by $5, it's now at $25. Stock C is at $8, and stock D is at $12. So now the actual weights of these different stocks has deviated from their target weights. So for example, stock A's actual weight is 55% instead of the target weight that I set for it, which was 50%. So now when I get paid again and I invest an additional $100, it gets invested to bring back the actual weights of my holdings to their target weights. This means each stock is going to receive a different amount of the $100 compared to the first time around. So stock A is going to get $45 of the $100 that I'm investing, so that after the second investment, its total balance is brought to $100, which is 50% of the total weight of the portfolio. Stock B gets $35 invested in it, so its balance is $60, and its actual weight is 30%. Stock C gets $12, so after investing, the balance is $20 for stock C, and its actual weight is 10%. And stock D gets $8, its balance after investing is $20, and its actual weight is 10%. So now, if we compare the actual weights to the target weights, they match again. I find this process of buying into your portfolio to bring the actual weights of its constituents back to the target weights that you set for them really important in order to ensure that the risk-reward profile of your portfolio remains what you want it to be. Again, many brokers will do this automatically for you, but if you can't find a broker that does this automatically where you live, then create your own spreadsheet to keep track of your target weights and what the actual weights of your investments have become so that you can reconcile the difference whenever you make an investment. Additionally, something that many brokers will do, which is really helpful, is that you can set up automatic recurring investments into your portfolio. And I find this really helpful to maintain discipline to invest at the regular intervals that you've determined, that you've targeted. Now you may be wondering, well, what do you do if the day that you scheduled your investment to be invested, the market is at an all-time high? Do you still invest? And the answer is yes, I do. If the market is falling, do you still invest? Yes, I do. If there is a tornado warning in my zip code, do I still invest? Yes, I still do. If Ya'juj and Ma'juj are popping out from China, do you still invest? I'm assuming I would, and I would head for high ground as well. The only time I wouldn't invest the amount that I've scheduled to be invested has nothing to do with what the market is doing at all. The only time I wouldn't invest is if I needed the money. That's the only time I wouldn't invest. This is my policy with regards to the investments that I budgeted from my regular income. Basically, my policy is that there is no timing at all involved here. It's automatic. And why do I follow this policy? Well, one, it minimizes regret and it makes the investment experience more enjoyable. If your investments are going in automatically, you're not making any active timing decisions, and therefore whatever happens, you have nothing to feel bad about. And from a return perspective, on average, it's the smartest thing to do. When you're dealing with a large number of investments, like when you're investing from your regular income, then your experience is going to be the average. And when you're dealing with an asset that on average is trending upwards, then the sooner you buy, the better. If you look at the S&P 500, over the last century, the average return has been 10% annually. Or Bitcoin, for example, that has averaged an annual return of around 300% annually since its inception 12 years ago. When you're dealing with these types of assets that are on average appreciating in price, then on average, more often than not, the sooner you buy into these assets, the better. So you're minimizing your regret by not engaging in timing the market. You're minimizing your regret while doing the statistically smart thing to do in order to maximize your returns. Now, what about if I'm investing a larger amount of money? So let's say I got an inheritance of some sort, or I sold part of my company, or I got a bonus. And now I'm dealing with investing an amount that is larger than what I normally invest from my regular income. In the case of my regular investments, I didn't really care about what the market did after I invested. Let's say I invested on Friday and Monday the market tanked. I really don't care because the next Friday I'm going to invest again. If the market is still down, I'm going to buy at these cheaper prices. If the market has recovered, and I didn't lose anything. However, when I'm dealing with these larger amounts of money, if I invest everything on Friday and then on Monday the market tanks, then I'm going to feel a lot of regret. Also, when you're dealing with these one-off events, like investing a large amount of money, then your experience is not going to be the average. Your experience is going to be whatever your experience is. You don't really care about what the average is. So if you look at this chart of the S&P 500, on average, it's going up. Now let's say you inherited a bunch of money and you invested it all on March 19th, 2008, when the S&P was around 1400. You would have had to wait until September 10th of 2012 just to get your money back. So to avoid this potential regret and the massive hit on return that may come from investing at exactly the wrong time. When I'm investing a larger amount of money, I spread it out over a period of time. Now, the absolute maximum that I would be willing to spread out a large investment is 9 months. I would never spread it out more than 9 months. Typically, it's a lot shorter than that, the period that I spread out the investment over. The reason why I max out the period of time in which I spread a larger investment to 9 months is because, historically speaking, the average duration of a bear market is 9 months. So, assuming that I started investing this larger amount at exactly the wrong time, at the height of the market before the bear market started, and it took me 9 months to invest this larger amount, then by the time I got done investing this larger amount, on average, the market should start to trend upwards again. So this is how I do it, at least. This is what works for me. This is not necessarily what is ideal for you. This is not investment advice. What I wanted to show in this video was basically how I approach the issue of timing my investments and knowing when to invest. I'd really appreciate a like if you found anything in this video beneficial. Subscribe for more content. And until next time, make sure to take care of yourself. Assalamu alaikum and peace be upon you all.